dealing with older people, they're the last to know that things have changed. We not your little like the way you talk it. I don't get what you mean. We're not your little like for real. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. When you're dealing with older people, they're the last to know that things have changed. We not your little like the way you talk it. I don't get what you mean. We're not.
Elite call, a chilling voice, and a Houston legend who's not letting this one slide. When Maze dropped that cryptic audio tied to Takeoff, the internet didn't just react, it froze. Then boom, Jay Prince stepped in, and his response? It shook the entire industry to its core. Now everybody's asking the same question. What really went down on that call, and why is everyone suddenly scared to even mention it? Nobody saw this coming. Maze had been teasing for weeks on it is what it is that he had real proof about Takeoff's death and Jay Prince's alleged involvement afterward. Folks thought he was bluffing, just talking slick for clicks. But then, out of nowhere, he dropped a short clip. It sounded like a private call between Prince and Takeoff right before everything went left. The second that audio hit the internet, chaos erupted. Twitter, Reddit, TikTok. Every corner of the web caught fire as fans tried to confirm if that deep voice really belonged to Jay Prince. But here's where it gets crazy. Maze didn't drop it like some messy blogger chasing clout. Nah, he did it with precision. Sitting next to Cameron, cool as ever, he leaned back, gave that little smirk, and said, "Sometimes people act untouchable, but audio don't lie." Then he pressed play. Silence. The tension was thick. The call was muffled, but the words were clear enough to send chills down spines. You hear someone talking about keeping business quiet and handling things in-house. The voice? Deep, calm, and way too familiar. Fans went into a frenzy. Some swore it was real, others screamed AI fake. But by then, it didn't even matter. The clip spread like wildfire, and the damage was already done.
Quavo, Takeoff, they was down here with y'all. They seen you walking by, he's laying on the ground. Got Mike bending down, and they seen you walking by. What took place there?
It's the crazy thing about that video, right? Is
every blog reposted it within minutes. Every fan jumped in the comments, arguing like it was life or death. And just like that, Jay Prince's name was trending worldwide, his entire legacy hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, May sat back calm, like a man who just dropped the bomb of the year and knew exactly what he'd done. See, Jay Prince ain't the type to let something like that slide. His brand runs on silence, control, and respect. 3 things you never violate. So when a Harlem preacher-turned-podcaster decided to drop his name in a storm tied to Takeoff, it hit way too close to home. According to insiders, within hours of that clip surfacing, Jay Prince was already on the phone. Furious, tight, calling everyone behind the scenes demanding answers. To him, that wasn't gossip. That was a violation. You don't play with his name, and you definitely don't play with a tragedy that still cuts deep across hip-hop. Fans instantly split in half. Some called Maze reckless, accusing him of chasing shock value. Others crowned him a hero for daring to challenge one of rap's most untouchable figures. But everyone agreed on one thing. That clip was dangerous. Real or fake, it painted a picture that could shake entire power circles. And the wildest part? Maze knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't just leak a clip, he lit a fuse. Then, 24 hours later, came Jay Prince's response, and it was pure fire. He dropped a long video that felt part sermon, part warning. Never said May's name, but everyone knew. Calm voice, sharp tone, the kind of calm that lets you know it's about to get ugly.
This is a problem, Jay Prince, and I'm gonna tell you like this: if you're 60 years old and you're trying to be a street you failed. You failed. I'm telling
There's a lot of people out here chasing clout with dead men stories, he said. That's not journalism. That's disrespect. Then came the line that froze the internet. When you play with street matters you don't understand, sometimes you end up part of the story. The comment section exploded. Some took it as a straight-up threat. Others brushed it off as classic Prince cryptic talk. But either way, the tension doubled overnight. The entire hip-hop scene could feel the weight of it. And Jay Prince didn't stop there. He doubled down. Started calling out fake prophets, using microphones to spread lies. Everybody knew who that jab was for. Mays used to preach from a pulpit, so when Prince said that, it hit different. When men use the Lord's name but gossip for views, he added, that's when you know the game lost its morals. Phew, that one cut deep. The internet exploded. Fans flooded timeline saying, he's talking straight to Mays. But Mays wasn't flinching. He went live the next night, staring dead into the camera and said, ain't nobody gonna scare me. I said what I said, and the truth don't fear no man. His chat went insane. Thousands cheering, calling him fearless, while others warned him to move carefully because this was no regular internet beef. This was real-world tension. Mays insisted it wasn't about clout. He said he leaked it because the world's been lied to for too long, and that he wanted people to hear how real power talks when the cameras ain't around. That line alone, instant chills. But behind the chaos, whispers started spreading, darker, more dangerous whispers. Word was the leaked audio didn't come from random internet sleuths. It might have come from a recorded phone line linked to someone close to Takeoff's team. If that's true, Mays didn't just stir drama. He might have walked into legal fire. Rumors hit fast that Jay Prince's legal team was already working overtime, sending takedown orders and claiming the clip was edited and defamatory. By that same night, posts started disappearing across social platforms like magic, gone without warning. And everyone watching could feel it. Pressure was being applied, heavy. Even Cameron, who'd been chilling through most of the chaos, had to step in. On air, he tried to calm the storm, half joking, half serious, saying, look, we're not investigators. We entertainers. If it gets too real, we out. You could tell he was trying to cool the fire before it spread, but Mays wasn't backing off 1 inch. He looked dead into the camera, cool as ice, like a man already prepared for whatever came next. Then he dropped the line that sent shockwaves through the culture. You can delete the clip, but you can't delete the truth. Pure defiance. That wasn't a comeback. That was a challenge. But Jay Prince? He don't do chaos. He moves with silence and power. So when he finally answered, it was calm, too calm. No yelling, no profanity, just that cold, measured tone that says everything without saying too much. Looking straight into the lens, he said, the problem with some of these New Age preachers turned podcasters is they confuse faith with foolishness. Some things you keep sacred. Some names you keep out your mouth. Smooth delivery, deadly precision. Fans said it felt like a warning wrapped in wisdom, an ice-cold message that only the real ones could decode. Then the shift happened. People close to Jay Prince started posting cryptic messages. Don't poke the bear. Respect the dead. Houston don't play about family. It looked coordinated, like the whole city was closing ranks behind its boss. The energy got tense, real tense. Even rappers who had nothing to do with the beef started quietly backing away. One insider put it plain. May's brave, but he better remember Jay Prince is a legend in more ways than one. That quote alone had social media buzzing. Nobody wanted to see this turn from talk to something real. Still, May stood his ground. Back on his show, calm but firm, he said he meant no disrespect, that this wasn't about clout or drama. I'm just tired of people using power to hide corruption, he said. It's not hate, it's truth. But that didn't stop the backlash. Some accused him of exploiting Takeoff's tragedy, calling him reckless. Others praised him for having the courage to say what everyone else was afraid to. Either way, the line had been drawn, and the whole hip-hop world was locked in, waiting to see who blinked first. Cameron tried again to play peacemaker, jumping in during another live broadcast. We're not trying to go to war with nobody, he said. May's just passionate about what he believes. But instead of calming fans, that made everyone more uneasy, because if Cam, the king of cool, is stepping in to defend his boy that strongly, you know something's brewing behind the scenes. Word spread quick that people close to Mays were urging him to chill out before it crossed a line that couldn't be undone. And let's be real, Jay Prince ain't the kind of man you want angry. His reach in the industry runs deep, and when his name's involved, folks move carefully. But that's when things took a darker twist. Rumors exploded that the clip Mays leaked wasn't even the full version. Some said he was holding back a longer recording, one that could expose even more powerful names. Others believed he was keeping it as insurance, while a few thought he was bluffing just to keep the spotlight hot. Either way, it made everything 10 times messier. Suddenly, the internet turned into a full-blown investigation board. Fans were dissecting every J. Prince post, every quote, every silence like detectives piecing together a crime scene. And the craziest part? J. Prince didn't have to say a word. His silence alone had the entire culture on edge. When J. Prince goes quiet, that's when you really know things are serious. He doesn't move loud. He moves calculated. That calm before the storm, that's what gets everybody nervous. This ain't internet gossip anymore. It feels like a full-on standoff. Mays versus J. Prince. One Harlem preacher with an MIC, one Houston boss with an empire. Nobody knows how it's gonna end, but the tension is thick enough to cut. Jay hasn't said another word publicly, but insiders claim he's watching everything. Every post, every stream, every sly comment. And that's got the whole industry holding its breath. Because in this kind of chess match, one wrong move can end the game. Still, Mays won't stop talking. He's feeding the fire one quote at a time, keeping fans on edge like it's a countdown. The truth always makes people mad before it sets them free, he said, a line that sounded less like a sermon and more like a declaration. Mays isn't backing down for anyone, but what he might not realize is how deep the situation really cuts. Takeoff's death wasn't just another headline. It was heartbreak. It left a scar across hip-hop that still hasn't healed. So when Mays tied that tragedy to private conversations and leaked audio, even his biggest supporters winced. Some said he crossed a sacred line. Because, yeah, you can speak truth, but some truths come with consequences that can't be undone. What makes all this even wilder is how clearly it shows the game has changed. Back in the day, nobody would have dared to publicly test someone like J. Prince. But now, we're in the podcast era. Everybody's got an MIC, everybody's got a platform, and one viral clip can flip the culture overnight. That's exactly what Mays did. With a single upload, he turned the internet upside down and made the whole industry look over its shoulder. But the question is, can he handle the storm he unleashed? Insiders say real tensions brewing between both camps, but also whisper that private talks might be happening behind the scenes. Folks trying to cool things off before it gets ugly. But it might already be too late. The damage is done. The blogs got their clicks, the fans got their theories, and the streets? They've already picked sides. But beneath the drama lies something way deeper. This isn't just beef, it's a clash between two eras. Truth versus tradition. Fear versus freedom. Mays represents this new generation, unfiltered, bold, and unafraid to name names. J. Prince, though, he's the embodiment of the old guard, loyalty, respect, silence. That code has kept him untouchable for decades. Both men stand for something real. But here's the problem. Both can't win this fight. That's why the whole hip-hop world's glued to the screen, waiting for the next move. Because if Mays really has more recordings and decides to drop them, it's gonna be chaos. Full-blown internet meltdown. Headlines everywhere. Names dragged, reputations burned. But if he holds back and lets it die down, maybe, the storm fades like all viral moments eventually do. Either way, the tension's electric. Every fan, every rapper, every outlet's tuned in, waiting to see who flinches first. What this whole situation proves is one thing. Silence is power. But speaking up, that's how you make history. And right now, Mays is risking it all to speak his truth, while J. Prince is reminding him what happens when you poke a sleeping giant. The streets are whispering, the internet's watching, and this story? Oh, it's far from over.